Hi, my name is Katerina and I'm here at the Island School. We're about to meet Walter, coach to so many international brands. He's Shaolin Kung Fu master and global speaker. It's an amazing person and I can't wait to learn from him.
Walter is a motor Shaolin master, philosopher, and strategist. He has held seminars and keynote speeches, coached the management of leading global companies, held lectures at universities, mentored sports champions, and authored books. Yet he remains so simple and so humble.
So I'm much older than most of you. I'm 53 years old. Um, I was born in a little tiny town in Italy, in the mountains. And when I say tiny, I mean really tiny. So tiny that now they gift you houses if you move there with your family because the village is dying. There is nobody there. There's like three old people. And when I was around 12, 13 years old, so maybe the age of some of you, I started practicing something called Shaolin Kung Fu. It's a martial arts. And already that's a bit weird. So I always think back to it as maybe it was some kind of destiny or karma or whatever you want to call it. Because I didn't live in a big city where there would be a kung fu school. I lived in a tiny village where there was nothing. There was not even a tennis school or a swimming pool. So the fact that right there would be a Shaolin Kung Fu school was very odd. But it just so happens that a man from that village went to military service, studied this stuff, and then when he came back, he decided that he wanted to share with someone, and he created a little school. And there was a few of us, school children and so on, who started going there. And very quickly it became my main passion. So at the beginning, I actually hated it because for those of you who do maybe some kind of martial arts or some strict sports, you have to be quiet, you have to be disciplined. If you chat with your friends, you get punished with some push-ups or something. So it was not very enjoyable for the first like couple of months, let's say. But clearly, if I'm here, 14 years later, at some point it became enjoyable. And it became my main passion. So I started doing it more and more and more. And I won the junior championships in Italy, then in Europe, and so on and so forth, to the point that I was training a kind of like a professional athlete. Not professional athlete because you get paid. There was no money in this kind of sport, but professional in terms of how much time I dedicated to it. So basically, after school, I would go there and train till late dinner time. And eventually, around 16, I had the first, let's say, very big major change in my life because my father worked for a little company that was owned by a very big company that had its head office in Australia. So at 16, I moved from a tiny, tiny little village in Italy to a very, very big metropolis in Australia, which was all kinds of shocking linguistically, culturally, socially. As you can imagine, for some of you that maybe change schools or change countries, imagine changing continents, changing scale of place where you're at, and so on and so forth, changing language completely, etc. But one upside of being in Australia was that there is a very, very big Chinese community. There are things called Chinatowns. They're like little Chinese towns inside the big cities. And in these Chinatowns, there was lots of Chinese migrants, including very high level teachers, much higher level than my teacher back in Italy, although, much respect to him for giving me the seed of the passion, but nonetheless, their knowledge was much better because they just studied a lot more years than he had the opportunity to do. And so I started studying there, and it became even more my passion. I was really dedicating like pretty much all of my free time until I arrived at university. And once I graduated from high school, as some of you will do relatively soon, I had to choose what I wanted to study at university. And my original ideas were very obvious: sports sciences and philosophy. Well, I was doing a discipline, which is a physical discipline, but it has a philosophy element from Asia. So I thought, well, sports sciences and philosophy, I completely fulfill my dreams, let's say. But my parents thought that I would be a very fit and very wise unemployed person if I studied sports sciences and philosophy. So they pushed me towards something more, let's say, realistic from a job perspective. And so I ended up not giving up on one of them. So I thought, let's do the philosophy because the physical stuff I was already doing a lot. I thought I knew it. Let's say in my arrogance of an 18-year-old, I thought I knew all about physical training anyway. So I did philosophy and economics. The same. My parents had to have an opportunity for a more easy professional life.
Share this video and subscribe for more wisdom from Walter, the Shaolin Temple's master and modern visionary.